We all know the overall figures. More than a third of Irish drivers have seen their insurance go up by over 50% in the last year. I think we could all tell our own individual horror stories. It's gone beyond rip-off at this stage. In my own case, a father who contacted me last week about his son paid $2,400 for his first insurance. His renewal quote was $3,100, which was then withdrawn because allegedly he had changed jobs from retail to being a labourer. They contacted the insurance ombudsman, who told them to shop around. He did, and the nearest quote was $6,500. Now, this car is registered for social, domestic and pleasure purposes, not because of his job. It's utterly ridiculous, and that young man actually ended up changing jobs because he needed a car and he couldn't pay that amount of insurance. And the reality is now that the increases that are being imposed on people are leading people to either drive with reduced cover, which is obviously very concerning, or imposing severe economic hardship on them. And it is simply unacceptable. Now, we know that in the AA studies and that they have blamed fraudulent activity and high legal and claims costs, but they absolutely fail to mention the profiteering of insurance companies. And this is at the nub of this issue, because we now have a situation. I do support the Fianna Fáil measure for calling for a national database to record premiums and settlements. It can be done in an anonymous way, which would help leading to a bit of transparency. But the truth is that there's no reason for this whatsoever. And the only credible explanation is that there is a cartel operating for profit. And I'll give an example in the sense of the modern era of new technologies and the implementation of dash cams, for example. Now, a dash cam can record footage, which can be evidence in terms of a traffic incident. It can record speeds by way of GPS. It issues alarms with proximity warnings, or if you're changing a lane, it gives you a warning in that. It has the potential to massively simplify the insurance process by simply encouraging this type of technology. Do the insurance companies want that? You bet they don't, because we have a cartel of insurance underwriters and companies who are profiting from the present situation. There is a case of a company I knew, an insurance brokerage company, which set itself up with a view to actually operating in particular with dash cams and using that as a mechanism of reducing premiums and simplifying the claims process. That company was taken over by a bigger insurance company, and guess what? The dashcam programme is ended up in the bin. That's the real nature of the insurance business in Ireland. There is technology there. The figures would show actually that collisions have been declining. With the imposition and implementation of that type of technology, I think we could radically transform the situation. There's no need for it whatsoever. And unless we get to the heart of that, the problems will continue. And it's simply unacceptable on young people, but on all drivers who, as other deputies have said, against the backdrop of an inadequate public transport system, means we need our cars and should be able to drive them safely.
Thank you, Deputy Daly.